real quick, before I speak, can everyone stand up real quick? Because I know it's early and I see some of you guys falling asleep. And so we're just going to do a little stretch real quick. We're going to lean to the right. Oh, lean to the left. Ooh. Do a little twist. Do a little twist.
If you need to, hold your shirt down.
Right on, right on. We're going to run in place a little bit. Get the blood flowing. Come on, guys. Get those feet moving. Right on, right on. Okay. All right. If you guys need, you take a little dance break, do a little boogie, get your groove on, something. I don't know. See, Sarah's joining me. Right on. I dig it. I dig it. All right. I just wanted to get everybody's blood flowing. Make sure you guys are awake. Don't want to lose any of you guys. Right on. So, like I said, I'm Dakota Brown, one of the co-founders of Nerds. And, before anything, I just want to say, thank you guys for being here again. This is incredible. 5 years ago, when we had our first conference, I never imagined that it would be this big. That, we would have, over 200 students, that we would have this many booths, a concert last night. It's incredible to see where we've come. But none of that would have been possible without you guys. You guys are the driving force of Nerds and what we do. Just like Dalton said, everything that we do is for the students. And we wouldn't be here if you guys don't show up. You guys are the ones who come to the conference and make sure that, these people are interacting with the booths, and, you guys are the ones who are here and putting in the work, and we can't thank you enough. I know that I really appreciate it, and, like Dalton said, I've grown because of you guys, and I've learned from you guys over the past 5 years, getting to talk to some of you guys and, really get to know you throughout this conference. And so thank you. But, over the past 5 years since our first gathering, my life has changed extremely. We were talking about it last night, and it's weird to think about, but, I'm the same age now that Dalton was, our very first Nerds gathering, and that's weird to think about. I don't know, for me personally, but yeah. Yeah, but our very first Nerds gathering, I was, just starting out high school, and, now I'm a sophomore in college, and it's a completely different playing field. So, seeing where my life has come since then is really amazing for me to reflect on. When I graduated high school, a lot of people expected me to go right into college studying politics. I was really active in politics and activism. Even I expected myself to go in, with a major in political science or public policy. And I took my first political science class last year, and I hated it. It was not for me.
Told you.
I was not a fan. It just, it was nothing like what I had experienced, on the ground doing work with people. And so I started taking other classes, started exploring what I really liked, what I was passionate about, what I loved. And I'm proud to say that now I am a communication major in journalism with a minor in photography, going into photojournalism. And so, yeah, thank you. And so, like Dalton mentioned earlier, you guys have to find what you're passionate about. One of the things that I've learned over these past 5 years is your biggest critic is going to be yourself. And the person that you have to impress most is yourself. You can't make other people happy unless you're happy. That's what I've learned. People had really high expectations for me to go in and do political work. I just wasn't I wasn't passionate about that as much as I am, being on the ground doing work with people. And that's what really drove me into photojournalism, is getting to interact with people and talk to them and share their stories through media platforms, whether it be, writing an article or, sharing their photo. That's what I'm really passionate about now. And so, yeah, I mean, this journey over the past 5 years has been amazing. But, I mean, so much has changed in my life. I'm also proud to announce that starting tomorrow, I'm actually going to be auditioning to be my school's mascot, the Stanford Tree. Yeah, it's a crazy process, and never did I think that I was gonna be a mascot, especially after all the work that I've done, trying to remove mascots. But here I am. Like I said, it's been a crazy journey, but none of it would have mattered or would have happened without you guys. And so once again, I can't thank you enough for being here and interacting with all of our booths and with our with us, with each other, with the breakout sessions. You guys are what make this event happen every year. So thank you so much.
Bonjour, Annie. My name is Maya, and I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I came out to go to Stanford with these fine folks. And that's actually where I ended up meeting Dalton when he was an annoying little freshman. And eventually Dakota, who I absolutely adore, don't tell him. But I came to Stanford as a first-gen, low-income, kid of a single mom, kind of your typical cookie-cutter, native at higher education story. And I can honestly say I don't know that there's anything that I could have done differently that would have made me feel any more comfortable than choosing to go to a school where there was a community already established for people who are coming from similar backgrounds or who could at least empathize with my experience. I in no way think that schools like Stanford are better than other schools. I think what's more important is finding a school that fits who you are and what you're interested in, and has a community that's ready to embrace and support you. And that's why I've been so lucky and blessed and grateful to have been a part of this group and be able to be invited back every year to help. Because I think whatever schools you guys end up choosing to go to, if that school doesn't have a community, like I was lucky enough to have at Stanford, you always have this community to fall back on. You always have this support network to fall back on, and it's because of the work that these two young men have done, because they are so incredibly and purely devoted to your wellness and your success in whatever version that you want to define success, because it looks different for all of us. So what I actually ended up doing is, the reason I said I told you, is because when I left for school, I too was very involved in local politics in Milwaukee. And throughout the state of Wisconsin, I did some national political work as well. If anyone's heard of DREAM Act, I was part of the group of students that helped write some of the first versions of that bill under Sensenbrenner. And that was an incredible honor for me to do. Thank you. And so I went to school with those same expectations of, I remember giving a little talk, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to do political science or international relations, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to be president. I'm going to be that first Native president, the first lady president, right? I would never want that now. Part of the reason is because I took my first political science class when I got to school, and not to date myself or anything, but that was the quarter of Stanford. It was my fall freshman quarter when Obama was elected. And that was a very interesting environment to be at such a large institution and have the first black president, and then go into a political science class with a white professor and white TAs who looked at me as the token voice responsible for speaking for each one of you. And we don't speak the same language. We don't have the same culture. We don't have the same looking communities. But we do share an experience when we walk into these spaces that weren't designed for us, but we walk in there and we own those spaces anyway. And that's bringing it back to what we're doing here. We're trying to help you feel prepared and armored and emboldened to walk into spaces not designed for you, and to still walk in there and know that you belong there and that you have every right to succeed there, if not more so than anyone else. So that's why I so greatly appreciate what these guys have done here to put all of this together for you. And I hope when you go into each of your workshops, you go in there with the mindset of knowing that each person here is here to offer you with a special set of tools, a special set of gifts that are only going to enhance the individual gifts that you already have, that Creator gave you, and that you're going to use those to go to whatever school, whatever program fits you and suits you, and study whatever area of interest that interests you and makes you feel good about yourself and makes you feel like you're contributing the most to your communities. And you're going to be able to use this toolkit that you're getting in programs like this. You're going to work with all these advisors back here who work so hard to bring you here. Thank you to all of you adults who are able to bring them in today. And all of these folks are here to support you, all of us. And each year that I've been able to come up here and talk to you guys, I've made myself as available as possible to all of you. So if you want, track me down afterwards, because I'm not kidding. If you want advice, if you want guidance, if you just want to bounce some ideas off of me, I will give you my email address, and we can definitely go back and forth, and I'm always there. These guys will tell you, I love doing that kind of stuff. So much so that I actually, after I finished school, I did that poli-sci class, and I kind of had a similar realization that this isn't the place where I can make the most change. I could have gone into politics, I could have gone into policy work, and I would have been good at it, but I wouldn't have been happy, like what Dalton was saying. It wasn't going to be right for me here. So instead, I started thinking about what drew me to that, and it was all of you. It was people like you, people who need the connection, who need the community building, who need the support system. And I feel like if I would have gone into politics, I would have been lighting a match to melt a glacier. And instead, I feel like the work that I'm doing now, I work in residential education, and I work with students like Dakota. He's one of my students now. But I work with students to try to help them bridge the learning they're having inside of the classroom and bridge that with out-of-classroom learning, leadership development, professional development, counseling, guidance. And I feel like in that way, I'm plugging into my own strengths and my own passions and helping all of you light your own individual matches so you can come together and melt that glacier together. And that's what's important to me. So what I want you guys to do is definitely, when you have a moment, thank these young men for what they've done, because they're laying some groundwork for you, but now it's up to you guys to do the hard work. Light your matches in whatever way suits you, and just remember that you're doing work to kind of melt a glacier that's holding us all back, okay?